This is a sponsored video that contains products provided without charge by the manufacturer for demonstration purposes. All opinions are my own. Aside from natural disasters, there's two main events that can happen that cause severe damage to your house. The first is fire, the second is flooding. Now, flooding can happen from outside your house, especially if you're in a low-lying area, but I'm talking about the kind of flooding that happens from inside your house, that is through either some kind of a product failure, plumbing failure, or a human error. Now, regardless of the source of the water, you're going to want to know that there's water in some place that you didn't expect it to be, so that you can actually respond quickly before there's any kind of damage. And today I'm going to introduce you to a suite of products that are designed to do just that, prevent damage. Coming up. Welcome to HandyDadTV. I'm Chris Hyder, your virtual dad in the cloud, and today I'm going to introduce you to this little guy. This is a YoLink smart water leak sensor. So this is what the WaterLink sensor looks like out of the box. And the cool thing about this is that it's got 3 sets of sensors. These little metal things that you see here, those are the sensors. Now this sits on the ground, and if any water is detected around it, it will cause a current to flow between these 2 prongs. And when it does that, that's what triggers the alarm. In addition, over here is on the front, there is a recess. And that way, if you put this under a sink and any water drips on this, it will be picked up by this before it even gets off onto your floor. Now these things have 2 AAA batteries. They come pre-installed in here, and they say they should last 5 years. Now these sensors connect wirelessly to a hub that connects to your internet. And this is what the hub looks like, the standard hub. This works with either Wi-Fi or with Ethernet. And it's really pretty simple to do. You can put a couple hundred of sensors attached to any hub in your house. Now there's 2 kinds of hubs. This is the standard hub, which is actually a bigger size. And then they actually have a smaller hub. This one is called a speaker hub because, guess what? It has a speaker on the bottom of it. Now they both work the same way, but the advantage of the speaker hub is that it can make announcements. It can say whether your water's been turned on or turned off, and I'm going to show you that when I set it up. So I'm actually going to set this one up because I think this is cool, and it's only a little bit more expensive than the standard one, so that's what I'm recommending. But let me get it set up and I'll show you what it does. Now every YoLink device has a QR code on the bottom of it. And all you have to do to get it to work is just click on the scan and then scan the code. And it adds device. It'll bind it to my account. So that is now set up. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the water sensor. I'm going to click add device, scan it really quickly, and I'm going to call this leak sensor 1 because I have a bunch of these I'm going to put all around my house, so I'm going to have to be able to tell them apart. Now what I need to do to wake it up is to just press the set button. Blinks a little bit, and there you can see it is now active in my my app. Okay? Now all the YoLink devices communicate to the hub using LoRa. LoRa stands for long range. It's a wireless protocol that they use. That means this thing can be up to like 1,000 feet away from the hub. I can put these all over my house, and one hub is all that I need. The batteries in these things are supposed to last up to 5 years. So now, of course, I got a bowl of water, so let's see how this works. I'm going to take this sensor and put it in the bowl of water. And I saw the red light, and right away I get an alert on here that says leak sensor 1 detects a water leak. So great, you get notifications on your phone. That's one thing. But remember I said that's a speaker hub. So let's do something fun here. I'm going to go into Smart Automation, and I'm going to say Add Automation. And I'm going to call this Leak 1. When Leak Sensor 1 detects water, I'm going to say for the speaker hub, I want to choose a tone and then play a voice message. Leak on Sensor 1. I can repeat it however many times I want, up to 3 times. Set that, done. And now, let's try that test again.
Leak on sensor 1.
So that speaker hub, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so I can take these, look, I've got this huge set. I got like 8 of these sensors that I'm gonna put all around my house. But wait, I'm not done yet. So you ready for this? This thing is called a bulldog valve control. So picture your water valve is here. This thing turns your water valve on and off. I'm going to show you how that works too. So let me set this up, and just like the other one, I'm going to scan the code at the bottom. I'm going to bind this device. Now this device is powered by 4 AA batteries. So this doesn't need power, which is really great because you're not dependent on the power going out. So all I have to do is push this button, and that's what makes it go. Now on here you might say to yourself, well, what happens if it fails? How can I close my water? Well, there's a little button right back here that if you press that, it allows you to turn it manually. So let's go into the automations again here, and let's set up leak 1 behavior. I'm going to add, not only does it say leak on sensor 1, but now I'm going to add a device action to the valve, and I'm going to say close the valve. So I'm just going to say I want that bulldog valve to be part of this automation, and I want it to close when it detects water on that sensor. Now, and I have to set this up for every one of the sensors that I put in. So some of them might not close it, and I'll show you a scenario for that too. Okay, so now I'm going to say, let's see what happens. I get my alert on my phone.
Leak on sensor 1.
I get leak on sensor 1. It's closing the valve. Now this automation actually says whenever the valve is closed, even if I close it manually, it'll play a tone that says that all water has been turned off. And I'm going to do the same thing for turned on. Now I'm going to open the valve. Let's see what it says.
All water has been turned on.
Pretty cool. All right, now I know what you're probably going to say is, what happens if your internet is down, or if you have no power for whatever reason and this device is not working? Well, let's do something here. We're actually going to disconnect that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually close the valve. Now with the valve closed, I'm going to come under here and I'm going to push and hold this set button until it blinks. All right, and now I'm going to push and hold this set button until it blinks. Okay. Now what I've done is I've actually paired these two directly. It's a direct connection between the two devices. So now, even though the hub is disconnected, these two devices will react with each other. So first thing I'm going to do is open the valve again. And now when I place it in water, this should work. And it did. So that's the coolest part with the YoLink ecosystem. There's a direct connection between this and the water valve. So remember, the hub is only needed for connectivity to the internet, which means it'll notify you on your smartphone. Okay? That's it. And email, I believe it sends an email too. It's up to how you want to configure the rules. But that's all the hub is used for. You can set it up so that the hub is not needed. And if for some reason it fails, you will still have your water shut off if it detects a leak. If you're going to look at some other brand, make sure it can do that too. All right, for whatever reason, all of my shutoffs are here in a hall closet behind all the coats by the shoes. And so that's the main shutoff here. Our water meter, by the way, is out in the street, you know, under the underground. So this is the main water shutoff. And so I installed the bulldog valve here. It wasn't too hard to do, but there was a little bit of a catch. unfortunately, my valve originally came with this handle, and that would not work with the Bulldog. So I wound up getting another valve that had a straight handle on it, and I swapped it out. And now it works fine. In fact, you can see it's in the off position because I have just set all of my sensors. I paired them all, and I put that up nice and high so that we can reach it even if the coats are in the way. I added a bunch of labels on the control box and explained the system to my family, just in case the water goes off when I'm not around. I labeled each one of the sensors by location, and I placed them one in the closet below the valves, one in the laundry room between the washer and the utility sink, under every toilet, the dishwasher, the water heater, and one in the pan under the furnace. That's the only one that won't trigger the valve to shut off. It will only give a notification, because that's not house water that would cause that to fill up. If you are a DIY video creator struggling to find an audience, join HandyDadTV and get instant access to an established audience that will provide more views and income than you're getting on your own. Just go to HandyDad.tv/join for more information.